All right, we are about to dive into some really fascinating new research that's teaching AI not just how to build, but how to actually remember entire interactive worlds. It's pretty wild. I mean, just think about that for a second. The idea of having endless, unique environments for games or for training or just for exploring, all of it just created on the fly by an AI. That has been the dream for a long, long time. And you know what? That dream is getting so much closer. What you're looking at right now, this wasn't designed by a person. It's a world that was generated and rendered by an AI called PERSIST. And it's stable, it's consistent, and yeah, you can totally explore it. But there's a huge problem, a fundamental flaw with most of the models we have today. They have a terrible, terrible memory. The whole issue comes down to something called pixel history. Basically, most of these models are only looking at the last few seconds of video, just the pixels, to figure out what happens next. So what does that mean? It means as soon as an object, or even that entire mountain range, scrolls off your screen, poof, it's gone. The AI has totally forgotten it ever existed. The researchers behind this paper really put it perfectly. Relying on just pixels is an inherently flawed way to remember a complex 3D space. You know, it's kind of like trying to draw a map of your entire house by only looking at one photo of one corner. You're just missing the whole picture. So, to solve this big amnesia problem, the team behind PERSIST had to come up with a totally new way for an AI to think, a new kind of memory. The best way to think about it is like this. The old way, that pixel history stuff, is like trying to find your way around a city using only the last 5 photos you took on your phone. The second you turn a corner, you have no idea what was behind you. But this new way, it's like giving the AI a live dynamic 3D map of the entire city that's always updating. It always knows what's around the corner, what's behind it, what's everywhere. And that map is the absolute core idea here. It's called a persistent 3D state. So instead of thinking in flat, forgetful pixels, the AI is actually maintaining a 3D model of the world in its mind. It's a mental map that it updates in real time as you move around. And switching to this mental map approach has so huge advantages. First, the AI gets real long-term memory that doesn't slow things down as the world gets bigger. Because it's actually thinking in 3D, consistency is just baked right in. No more weird, shifting landscapes. And this is the cool part. It unlocks these incredible new abilities, like being able to edit the world on the fly or having things happen even when you're not looking. Okay, so how does this actually work, right? How do you teach an AI to build and use one of these mental maps? Let's pop the hood and look inside the PERSIST engine. So at a high level, the best way to think about it is like a game engine that taught itself how to exist. It runs in this constant loop, taking in your actions, updating its 3D understanding of the world, and then drawing the new picture for you. And here's that loop, broken down into 4 steps. First, based on what you do, say you move forward, it updates its 3D world model. Step 2, it figures out where your new camera position is inside that 3D world. Step 3, and this is so important, it projects that 3D view onto a flat 2D plane, which creates this geometrically perfect blueprint. And finally, step 4, it uses that blueprint to render the beautiful, pixel-perfect image you actually see. It's just this constant cycle: update, move, project, render. Okay, so the theory sounds amazing. A persistent 3D state should create better, more stable worlds. But does it, really? Let's take a look at the results. And wow, the visual proof is it's stark. On the left, you've got a model using that old pixel history method. After about 600 steps, it just dissolves into this blurry, inconsistent mess. But look at the right. That's PERSIST, with its 3D memory. It is rock solid. The trees stay where they are, the landscape holds together. I mean, it just works. And it's not just about looking better side by side. The researchers actually did a user study. They asked real people to rate how real these generated worlds felt. The old models, they scored a 1.9 and a 1.5 out of 5. PERSIST scored a 2.6. That's a huge jump. People could actually feel that the world was more consistent and more real. The researchers' own conclusion says it all, really. Maintaining that persistent 3D state gives a massive advantage across the board. This isn't just some small tweak, it is a fundamental leap forward. But here's where it gets really exciting. A better memory doesn't just mean more stable worlds. It unlocks a whole new set of creative tools that just were not possible before. So here we go. We've got a simulation running, generated by PERSIST. The AI has its 3D mental map of this whole area, and it's creating the video as the user moves through it. And get ready for this, because the AI is literally thinking in 3D, we can do something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. We can actually reach in and directly edit its mental map of the world. You have to see this. Mid-simulation, a person can literally pause the action, directly edit the underlying 3D world, like, adding a bridge or changing the entire terrain, and then when they hit play, the AI just rolls with it. It seamlessly incorporates those changes into the video it's generating. That's a level of control we've never had before. It also means the world can have a life of its own. Check this out. In this example, the model is tracking a cave that's filling up with water completely off screen. The player has no idea it's even happening. But because that 3D state is persistent, that water eventually flows out of the cave and right into the player's view. The world literally evolves even when you're not looking. So this new approach, it's really more than just an upgrade. It is a brand new creative toolkit. Now, creators can generate whole 3D worlds from just one image. They can edit those worlds on the fly. They can simulate off-screen events for surprises and realism. And they can even give the AI a complete 3D model right at the beginning for total control. And why does all this matter? Well, because this is a massive leap forward. We are moving away from generative models that just create these flimsy, forgetful little video clips, and we're moving towards AI simulators that can build persistent, dynamic, and truly believable worlds for gaming, for training, for digital twins, for everything. It's a foundational shift in what these models can do. Which, of course, leaves us with a pretty exciting question. Now that AI can finally build worlds that have a memory, what kind of worlds are we going to create?